وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم وأنتم معرضون صدق الله العظيم. Regarding ayat number 83 of Surat Al-Baqarah, there are certain ayat in the Quran, or better to say a good number of ayat in the Quran that are very, very comprehensive in their meaning. They speak about a range of many, many topics in very, very great detail. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings great details in these ayat in a very, very beautiful format. And this is the miracle and the mu'jiz of the Quran. And sometimes in certain ayat, few words, or sometimes the whole ayah, the words of those ayat, those verses, they contain encyclopedia of information. And these jami' ayat, these comprehensive ayat, you'll find that they carry the main foundational ahkam, the main foundational laws of this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they will also contain the main foundational aqaid or beliefs of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of these very comprehensive ayat is this ayat number 83 of Surat Al-Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He took a covenant from the Bani Israel. He took a mithaq from the Bani Israel. And that covenant, it contained the very foundation of the aqaid, the beliefs. And it also contained the very foundation of the ahkam of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of these we've already gone over. This ayah may take some time to complete. We've been going over for quite a while now. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He took a covenant from the Bani Israel, and that covenant, the very first portion, Allah ta'budu illa Allah, that He told the Bani Israel that covenant is that you do not worship anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, that you do ihsan to your parents. وَذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, you also deal with your relatives, those orphans, those that are orphan in the society. And also the poor, that you also do ihsan with them, you treat them with kindness. You give them their due right. Coming to the next hukum in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, and that you speak to the people in the most beautiful way. There are a few points that should be made or taken from this jumla, this sentence. The first and foremost, the most beautiful words that can ever be spoken by a human being, and especially in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most ahsan qawl, the best qawl, the best words that can be spoken is giving da'wah and inviting people to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're told in other ayat of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ, that who can have a better qawl, who can have a better saying whose words can be better mimman than that person da'a ila Allah, who invites people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inviting people to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So indirectly this is a hukum or a command that you invite people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, you speak to the people in the most beautiful way. Do the effort and the work of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. Command people towards righteousness and forbid them from evil. Stop evil as much as you can. This is stop and use your words to do so, at least if you cannot do anything else. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in a hadith, Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadih. Whosoever from amongst you sees any evil being committed, so stop it with your hands, meaning take action against it. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. If you cannot take action against it, you cannot stop it with your hands, then try to stop it with your tongue. Speak against it. Say something. If you see something haram going on, you can't take action against it, at least say this is wrong. Speak up. And if you cannot even do that, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ. If you cannot even do that, then at least consider that a sin in your heart. وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. That is the lowest level of iman. That you just consider a sin as a sin, but you don't take any kind of action, either in your words nor in your actions. You don't try and stop it. And that is the lowest level of iman, if you at least consider it a sin in your heart. If you don't even consider it a sin in your heart, now we have a problem. Unfortunately, we live in such a society where the sins have become so prevalent that we've almost adapted to it. It almost becomes like we don't even consider it a sin anymore. That is a very, very dangerous level to get into. Someone asked Hakim al-Luqman, the wise sage, who's the worst human being? So he responded, the worst human being is someone who commits a sin but doesn't even consider what they're doing is a sin. This is the worst human being. Who can be worse than that? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. So this is a very, very dangerous level to be at, where you commit a sin, you disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you don't even consider what you're doing is something wrong. Because at least if you consider what you're doing is something wrong, there's hope for you. You can change. But if you don't even consider what you're doing is wrong, so how will you change? That for the person who doesn't know, you can make him understand. Someone is committing a sin, they don't know. So you can make them understand that, listen, what you're doing is wrong. They'll come to their senses, they'll stop. But somebody who knows what they're doing is wrong, but now they don't even consider it as something wrong, who will ever help that person? If you go and you see a thief stealing, and you go to the thief and say, you're stealing, this is wrong. If you get caught by the government, you know what they'll do to you. And then he turns around and tells you, you know what? I spent 30 years in prison. What do you say, man? You already know what you're doing is wrong. How can I even threaten you? If I threaten you with prison, you're like, I already been there, done that. What's next? There's no hope for that kind of person. He knows what he's doing is wrong and he doesn't fear the consequences. He doesn't care. But you see a person who's doing something wrong and you advise them and they understand, they don't know, they tell you we didn't know before. There's a chance for them, they have hope for them. So وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, the least you can do is speak to people in a good way. Give da'wah to them. This is one meaning. Invite them to the truth. Another meaning also, that do not use abusive language. Be careful what words you say. Sometimes you don't think that these words have any effect, but you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what kind of profound impact these words have. And sometimes you can push people to the point of depression and stress with just your words, especially abusive language. Be very, very careful. Sometimes we lose control and we don't realize what we're saying. We lose control of our tongue. It should not be. It should not be the case of a believer. In Surah Luqman, when Luqman alayhi salam, he was advising his son. One of the last advices he gave his son is a very, very beautiful advice. وَقُصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكْ وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكْ إِنَّ أَنْكَرَ الْأَصْوَاتِ لَصَوْتُ الْحَمِيرِ. He told his son that, oh my son, Be very moderate in your pace. The literal meaning is don't walk in a proud way. Don't walk hard on the earth. That's one meaning. A deeper meaning is that live a moderate life. Don't be extreme in anything. This is waqsid fi mashik. Just live moderately. Don't be extreme in anything. Just be moderate. Be just normal. This is what Islam teaches us. Islam is the ummatan wasata. It's a middle path. It's not extreme in anything. This is one meaning. Waqsid fi mashik. Waghdud min sawtik. He said, be very control of your tongue, of your words, sawt, your voice. Check your voice. Check your words. Sometimes we start abusive language, you start using curse words, or we become angry, we start shouting. Luqman alayhi salam, then he told his son, Inna ankara laswati la sawtul hamir. The most despicable sound, the most disliked sound is the sound of a donkey. Have you ever heard the donkey? Subhanallah. Maybe we don't have them here. But for those who've come from the countries where there are donkeys, ya subhanallah. It's a very annoying sound. Very, very annoying. So this is, start shouting. You start losing control. You start abusive language. You start cursing. Especially curse words. Sometimes you think they mean nothing. By you expressing your anger, you're harming someone else. We should be very, very careful with what kind of word. And yes, we will be questioned for it on the Day of Judgment. That you use these kind of abusive words. Why? We don't even realize what we're saying. And sometimes if we're not careful, especially in the field of Sharia, things can become very, very in the gray area. Sometimes spouses, they get angry at each other many times. And they start cursing. And they say things that can even break the nikah. And they don't even realize it. They continue living as spouses. They don't even realize. But it breaks the nikah. The words have a very, very profound impact. And words are very, very heavy in the deen of Islam. Be very careful what you say. Be very careful what words come out of your tongue. At least to the people, you should speak in a very, very kind way. You should speak in a good way. You should encourage people. Don't discourage people. There's another meaning also. You go to the field of psychology. There's a whole concept of the placebo effect and the nocebo effect. And this concept is very, very powerful in medicine. And there may be someone who is sick, and the doctors, especially the medical professionals, they're specifically trained. Be very careful what you say to your patient. You can literally kill him. Because the patient has trust on you. You come in as a doctor, the patient is trusting you. Whatever you say will be right. And there are numerous studies done on this. Numerous studies. Patient is not even sick and the doctor tells him, you know what, you have this, the charts come back wrong, or some test is done wrong. And the doctor comes to the patient and says, you have this sickness, you only have this much time left, you will die. There was a study done in the 1980s. There was a patient who went to the doctor. So a person went to the doctor, they did his study, they found he had some kind of sickness. And the doctor told him, listen, according to this sickness that you have, you only have 14 days. You're going to die in 2 weeks. So this man, he went home. They said after 2 weeks he died. Exactly 2 weeks. He died. So when they brought the body and they were doing the autopsy to figure out how he died, they didn't find any kind of sickness. So they asked the family members, how did he die? Because you people are saying he had a sickness and he died. The sickness doesn't even exist in this person. What are you talking about? So they went to the family members. They said, that sickness you claim he had, he doesn't have it. It was a kind of high-level cancer or something. The family said, no, but we went to such and such doctor and he told us he has this type of sickness. When they went to the doctor and they checked the charts, they found out that there was something wrong done with the tests. So the results came back wrong. This person was perfectly healthy. So they asked the family that this is not how he died. How did he die? What did he do in these 2 weeks? They said the first thing he did is he quit his job. Then he isolated himself in a room. And then he always used to say, I am sick, I am sick. So he started showing signs of sickness. And then he started sitting on the patio, the old swings they used to have. And he used to swing back and forth and say, I am sick. So he kept telling himself he was sick, and then he died. They found out this is psychological. So now they have a name for it. It's called the nocebo. The negative effect that your own words can have on you. If you think you are sick, you are sick. You'll kill yourself. This is how powerful human words can be. You keep telling yourself. And we found this for those who are involved in education, those who know a little bit about teaching. Those students who always claim that they have a bad memory, they have a terrible memory. And those students who claim always, yes, I have a good memory, you'll be surprised. It's kind of profound impact that those words have. The same applies to, mashallah, we met some elders. They have great energy. And you meet some other elders, maybe younger than those elders, but they look like they are almost finished, You find out what kind of words and what they're saying. You find the elders are really old, but they have a lot, they're strong. Most of the time they're saying, oh, I'm strong. And they always used to tell us, one of the elders used to come to me, he says, you think you're young. This is back when we were teenagers. This person was around 70 or 80. He said, I can beat you in a race, I'm faster than you. He said, I run 1 mile every day. I said, subhanAllah. Firm, I said, over 70 years old. And then you find others, subhanAllah, have trouble walking, at that age. So it's all in the mind, how you train yourself and what kind of words you convince yourself with. And also the opposite is true. They found in so many cases, vast majority, they call them medical miracles, where they tell a patient that you're sick and the patient doesn't, he said, no, I'm not sick. You're lying, He starts debating with the doctor. Many, yes, they are sick, they need. I'm not trying to say don't get medical attention. Definitely go get medical attention. But sometimes the person is firm. I can fix. I'll be okay. I'll be healed. And after some time, they get healed. Sometimes from almost impossible kind of injuries. You see them, they're okay. There was a friend of mine. I'll give you a practical example. There are many examples you can see in history. There was a friend of mine. I was involved with one of the Masjid, so he started coming and we became good friends. So, we're just talking and a discussion came up about accidents and how one person was very hurt in an accident. And this person said, yeah, I've been in an accident too. He said, my accident was probably one of the worst kind you can think of. He said, let me tell you, he said, I used to be a truck driver. Those big 18-wheelers? So I used to be truck driving. So one time we were driving at night. So my partner, he was driving and I was sleeping. And he said that when we were driving, my partner, he shook me awake. He said, look, the bus is coming at us. It's on the wrong side of the road. He said, we were in a slippery, icy, it was snow and ice. He said, the driver was trying to dodge the bus. He said, we had a head-on collision. We're going very fast. And he said that the trailer had crushed up in such a way that it came on top of me and my partner. He said, my partner, he died on the spot. So did the driver of the bus. They were killed immediately. He said, when they pulled me out, they thought I was dead too. But they said they got a pulse. So they realized that I was still alive. When they took me to the hospital, they said that my back had been broken in 4 different places. My legs were both broken. He said my arms were broken. I was completely finished. So I looked at him, I said, well, you're walking, you're perfectly fine. How? He said, yes, this was 5 years ago. This was back, many years back when he told me. It was 5 years before that. He said, it was 5 years ago. He said, when they put me in the hospital, and I came back to my senses after many days, they started explaining to me, this is broken, this is broken, this is... How many? He said, I was broken in so many ways. I said, man, this is... So he said, but I had one thing. I had yaqeen, I had conviction. And I knew that there was only one thing that is famous for curing people, and that is the Quran. He said, I used to tell my family, whatever you do, bring a Quran, play it here for me. They used to play the recording of the Quran, Surat al-Rahman and other surahs. He said, I had this yaqeen, and no, the Quran has a curing effect. Whatever it is. He said, they started doing surgery after surgery. They put rods in my back, rods in my legs. And he said, now, alhamdulillah, you see, I'm walking. He even plays cricket, He said, I go out and I play cricket, every weekend with my friends. And he said, even sometimes I go back to the hospital. He said, after 1 year, 2 years, I was able to walk. I was moving around. He said, sometimes they invite me back to the hospital to give other people encouragement. And, So he said, I always tell them, listen, you don't understand the power of the Quran. The Quran has this impact that it calms you. The Quran has a sakina. It has a tranquility that comes over you. And it's on that calming effect that allows the body to heal. And the Quran also has a healing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in the Quran, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And we have revealed this Quran, in it is a shifa. In this Quran is a shifa, is a cure. And it's a mercy for the believers. So he said, I had this yaqeen, and I used to always tell myself, definitely the Quran can cure. There's no way I will not be cured. He said, I had that firm. He said, I tell others this also. You don't understand. Just put yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have this conviction that the Quran has this impact. And they found this, many, even in Pakistan and in India and those areas, where you find the Muslim hospitals, they play the Quran for many of the sick patients. And many of those patients, they get cured. Yes, for those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written that they'll pass away, so they pass away. But many, they come out of those sicknesses, almost completely cured. The Quran has this very, very profound impact. Why? Because the Quran is nothing but beautiful words. It is the most beautiful words. So words have a profound impact. We have found that this has an impact on human beings. And more than that, impact on children. If you tell a child that you're foolish, that child will grow up foolish. If you tell a child you're smarter than that, you should not be doing foolish things, be surprised how intelligent that child can become. That's why be very, we have many examples. Children at a very young age, they become hafiz of Quran. Why? The teachers are encouraging, giving beautiful words. The parents, they're encouraging, saying beautiful things. That is why be very careful what you say to your children. Be very careful what kind of words you say to your children. Sometimes we get angry. We start calling our children strange names. You're shaitan and you're this. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. What do you think will happen? The child will take that in. Even if you think it's just a bad word or you just out of your anger you're saying it, don't think it does not have an impact on a child. That has very profound impact on a child. Rather than that, you should be saying words of encouragement. That you're better than this, you're smarter than this, you should not do this. So next time they come to that, they'll think, you know what, I'm smarter than this, I should not be doing this. At least that'll be in the back of their mind that, you know what, I'm smarter than this, I should not be wasting my time. At least that'll be there. But if you're cursing them so they can become even more rebellious, well, my parents are saying I'm the devil anyway, Subhanallah. You should be very careful with your words. This is what this ayat is saying. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Speak to mankind, speak to people in the most beautiful way. You'll be surprised what kind of profound impact it has. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us understanding and give us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغِ. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. وَالصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَى سَيِّدِ الْمُرْسَلِينَ وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.